99X. It's the Morning X. Barnes and Leslie. We are the original 99X, and one of the original bands to come through these airwaves was Better Than Ezra. And the man who puts it all together is Kevin Griffin. Hey, Kevin.
It's so exciting to be here. It's like coming home.
It is like coming home.
You guys.
And your show, which will be coming up on the 19th, November 19th at Buckhead Theatre. We're looking forward to seeing you with your... It's a themed show, right? Tokyo Drift.
It is. So 3 years ago, we were like, let's own the fall. Taylor Swift has everything else. Let's own the fall. So we started the Legends of the Fall tour. And the only goal was to make it to a third year so we can name it after the third Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. I'm serious. As stupid as that sounds, that's really was our goal. We have to get to T-shirts that say Tokyo Drift, and we just approved them yesterday.
That is so funny. Well, you can see them the 19th, November 19th, Better Than Ezra at Buckhead Theatre.
I don't know anyone as busy as Kevin Griffin. I mean, obviously Better Than Ezra on the road. He's an author. He put out a book. He does like book signings. He does speaking engagements. But Barnes, I don't know if you know, but he puts one of the coolest festivals together.
I do.
It's here in Nashville. It's called the Pilgrimage Festival. It was here just last month. Dave Matthews Band, Noah Kahn, Hozier, the list goes on and on. Any highlights from the festival this past year, Kevin?
Well, the biggest highlight, thank you, by the way, we just celebrated our 10th anniversary. I think the biggest highlight was that we were able to have a festival because Hurricane Helene came through the Gulf Coast, and it just sat on top of Nashville, spinning around. And so there was a week of not pins and needles, just on the edge of our seat. Can we do this? Should we do this? And it turned out we were able to do it. And then the question was, will the ticket holders come out? And they did. And it was amazing. And the vibe was, awesome. And Hozier was saying, "This is Glastonbury, America," because of the mud. And it was amazing. So it was a great year. But thank you. I mean, Pilgrimage has turned into this thing that I never imagined it would, and it's pretty gratifying.
Barnes, 2025, you need to be here.
Yes, absolutely.
I say something about our show, and it's a Tuesday night.
Yep.
November 19th. They said, do you want a Friday night? Do you want a Saturday night? Like, no, that's too easy. Any band could do that. Any band could sell that. We're like, what's the most difficult night to sell tickets? They said, well, usually Tuesdays. I said, we want Tuesday.
Wow.
We want Tuesday the 19th because we know we'll sell it out. And we've got James Hall with us.
Oh, how cool.
James Hall and his new band, The Ladies of, are opening. It's going to be a really great show.
We will have a new president by then. That'll be weird.
Oh, wow. I didn't even think about that. True.
Either way, it'll be weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just going to be, times are different.
It's going to be interesting, and I know who I'm voting for.
Well, let's not share. We don't need to have our...
We stay apolitical.
Yeah, and I don't know what side you are, but we don't need to share either side. We don't get political here for sure. What we do get into is music, and I want to try something with you that we've only done with one other artist, and I think you're perfect for it. It takes a certain kind of artist. It's called the association. Mm-hmm. And what I do is I take riffs or clips or hooks of a few of your songs, and then I want to know either, like, where did it come from? Where were you the moment you recorded it? Any weird story or connection to it? So you have no idea what's coming. And I picked three.
I really don't. Usually we plan these things.
Yes.
Putting you on the spot, Kevin Griffin.
Yes. Come on.
A little behind the music.
This is easy stuff. I picked three, and the first one, I've always wondered what the hell this is. And certainly, you could probably tell us, but and these are all just little clips. And here's that clip.
Yeah, that's right.
The end of Good. What the hell is that? Listen one more time.
Yeah, that's right.
What is that?
That's Tom saying, yeah, that's right. So when we lived in LA, we made that album in Los Angeles. We were all waiters and bartenders. We made it in a second floor apartment on South Florida Street in West Hollywood. And going from our house to the studio, there was this beat up old bread truck, and spray painted on the side of that bread truck was the band name Rockzilla. Future. It said Rockzilla Future Rock. And we were like, oh my, and it was a beat up old house. We're like, who are these? We've got to go see Rockzilla. So one day we passed by, we're on Sunset Boulevard, and we passed by the Central. It was a bar, it was a cocktail lounge. The Central ended up becoming the Viper Room. Everybody knows the Viper Room. But it was a rock club, and on a Monday night, we went and saw Rockzilla. And it was these old dudes in spandex playing hair metal, and they were terrible. And at the end of every song, the band would finish, and the guy would go, "Do we rock?" And the crowd would go, "Yeah, you rock." And he would reply, "Yeah, that's right."
I had no idea where that came from.
That was our homage to Rockzilla. But the funniest thing is that he introduced one song. He goes, "This is a song about an intergalactic space warrior who comes to take over Earth. It's called Intergalactic Space Warrior Who Comes to Take Over Earth." Hit it! It was amazing.
Where are they now?
All right. The Association, we have two more with Kevin Griffin.
That was great. That was great.
From Better Than Ezra. Here's the next one. Again, take this whatever direction you want, but take me there. Where did this come from? Blah, blah, blah. Here it is. Okay, obviously the song A Lifetime.
Well, Lifetime was part a personal story about losing a friend in high school, but then it was also mixed in with the famous story when Graham Parsons passed away. His friends stole his casket from LAX airport, and they took it out to 29 Palms Joshua Tree, and they set the casket on fire when the sun was coming up. And so I kind of put my story and that together for the narrative in Lifetime, and I just had this image of friends greeting the sun, on the beach, standing on the hood of a car with their arms outstretched, and they had to be listening to some song. And the song that just popped in my head was Perfect Circle by R.E.M. on the Murmur album. Oh. And it's such a beautiful song about the innocence of childhood. And they asked Bill Berry, who wrote the lyrics for that song from R.E.M., he goes, "What is that about?" He goes, "It's about kids in a huddle, a perfect circle, a huddle when they're playing, football out in the yard." And so I was like, in 3.5 minutes, a song can encapsulate so many memories of your life. It can. There's a beginning, a middle, and end, and it's a lot like a life. And so I just said 3.5 minutes felt like a lifetime. I was thinking about Perfect Circle. Then after the song was written and recorded, I went back and looked at how long Perfect Circle is, and it's 3.5 minutes exactly.
Wow.
And then Lifetime is 3.5 minutes exactly. So those were those crazy things that happened.
That song brings me to a friend who died on graduation night in high school. Forever takes me to that, to the chorus of that song.
Yeah, that's what it's about, and that's a good one.
Thank you for sharing that, Kevin.
I just loved your whole catalog, so it was so hard for me to pick. I mean, I may need to have a side 30-minute call with you to go over the rest of my list.
I'm in.
Here's the last one.
Shirts for skins. I'll be sure.
The Association with Kevin Griffin from Better Than Ezra. Here's the next one. One of my favorites of yours. What? Whose house? Where'd the riff come from?
It's funny, that riff was written on a Taylor Model 810C. The C was for cutaway, and I was sitting in on my sofa in my bedroom in the Garden District of New Orleans, writing songs. And on the album, though, that's a gold Les Paul Gibson through a JCM 800 Marshall amplifier, just straight in with a little bit of breakup. So that's the technical side of it. But that lyric was about, I was trying to think about how life takes people on different paths, and at some point we're all equal. We're all kids. We're innocent, and the image I had from my childhood that was kind of portrays that was when we were young and our parents would let us camp out in the backyard. We'd all be in a tent, a pump tent, and you'd spend the whole night running around the neighborhood. And if you remember, in the summers around 4 or 5, there's dew on the grass. And it was really about when we were innocent before life took people on different journeys, some good, some bad. We were just kids running through the neighborhood. Our feet were all wet from the dew on the grass, and that's what that song is about.
I have chills hearing you talk about that.
there's a reason you have billions of streams to your name with songs for people all over. You're so good at pulling these emotions and this nostalgia and all and
painting
instrument
a picture.
Yeah, just painting the perfect picture. So we look forward to seeing you on the 19th, Kevin Griffin.
Are you going to introduce us again?
I'm out of town.
Oh.
On the 19th.
Bummer.
I need to cancel my trip. All right.
You have to can't tell Billy Corgan.
Oh, it's a Tuesday. Wait, I am here. Yes, I'll be there.
Okay.
I forgot. I was thinking it was Friday.
Hey, Barnes.
That's why we did a Tuesday night.
I ain't trying to cancel Anguilla to go.
No excuses. You're going to be there.
I'll be there. All right. Tuesday night, November 19th. New president and all. Better Than Ezra at Buckhead Theatre. Kevin, great to see you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Hey, happy Halloween.